Hey friends, it's Brad Barker here and I'm on the ride of my life. You probably found this channel because you either have one of these big beasts or you're very much interested in enjoying the lifestyle, traveling the world on an adventure motorcycle. Now, if you don't have it already, you probably are researching it, and that is the helmet, tank bag, soft luggage, GPS, aftermarket mirror, your body armor, crash bar, your skid plate, aftermarket lights. Your confidence dramatically increases if you can see where you're going, all the way down to your moto skivvies. So you made the purchases, you got the stuff. Good job. What if you want to leave the confidence of your driveway and actually go down a dirt road or around the next corner or over the next hill?
Sharif brings an extensive resume to prevent and treat injuries that can happen while you're on the road or on the trail. He's going to show you what you need to do if you come upon a motorcycle crash and take control of the situation so that can have the best possible outcome on this episode of Adventure University Accident Triage.
Let's say we're going to put the scenario on a trail. We're not on a roadway. Ideally, if you are riding with a group, one person should be designated as the medical person. It shouldn't be determined at that time. How many people have been in a situation where they rolled up on an accident that just happened? You have to kind of figure out a certain amount of information, take a snapshot of the scene, because later on when you're trying to recall certain things, if you would have just focused in on one thing, there's a lot of valuable information that you need in order to make decisions. The first thing you need to do is send somebody off into the trail to close off any oncoming traffic, or at least warn oncoming riders. Find out how many people were involved. Find out the nature of the injury. Is it a right leg? Is it he can't breathe?
What hurts?
My thumb.
Your thumb?
If there's a compromise in the airway, breathing, or circulation, that's a good time to take the helmet off and then do further stuff if you've been trained in CPR and first aid. So you need to be calm, reassure them, and tell them what has happened. Sir, you've just been involved in a motorcycle accident. You may have to repeat that again and again and again. Sometimes it's not quite clear when somebody has sustained a head injury. Obviously, that's a 911 situation, right? We're going to send somebody away and say, listen, what is your name, sir? Dave. We're going to agree on some things. The number of patients, 1. He got a motorcycle accident. He hit his head, 2. Where are we? We're going to have to agree on a location. We are at this intersection, or we are at this point in the trail.
All right, and so we're about, he went down about 3 miles from the east side of it, from the Hudson Ranch side.
If you have to go and activate EMS, if they require a meeting for them off of a main road to guide them in, you will take 2 people. One person to stay there and be the liaison for EMS, and the other, you will come back to me after you've made contact with EMS. That's how it will be, so long as we can keep this chain of communication going. He's not to come back and leave EMS to try and figure out how to get there. He's going to liaison with them back. So there's going to be a number of things that we're going to have to do and obtain data before we start asking for help. If you're going to be dealing with somebody that just got into a motorcycle accident and it isn't quite clear whether or not they got their bell rung enough to where we don't know whether or not this is a significant injury to the head. Damage to the helmet is a good indicator of damage to the head. So take a look at damage to the helmet. Scrapes, bumps, you'll see the mechanism of injury, the amount of energy that was transferred to the patient will be evident on the head, and that will then be transferred to the brain. If you are concerned about whether this person, sometimes brain injuries, brain bleeds take time to manifest. If there's a slow bleed in the brain, that's those people that go to sleep and don't wake up. Those are those people wake up vomiting after 6 hours of a head injury. Sometimes what you can do in those situations, if you're not sure whether or not to continue on with medical care or to maybe wait and see how things develop, is to ask them a couple of key questions.
Brad who?
Barker.
Okay.
He's the president of the United States?
Yeah.
I used to say to somebody who I was, got their bell rung, I'm going to say some absurd statement like, pink elephants fly only on Sundays. And then I'm going to ask you again in 2 minutes to repeat that statement. Then you set an alarm on your watch, and then you ask him in 2 minutes to remember that silly statement I told you that you'll never remember after this. You should, in your short-term memory, be able to remember that. If you don't, energy to the brain, we're going off to the hospital and let them rule out what you have just kind of initially touched upon. consider neutral alignment. If the body, like, you know, like the Da Vinci thing of the guy standing like this, the Vitruvian man, this is called the neutral anatomical position. So if there's a leg that's going off to the right, making a 90-degree at the femur, do you think we should move it back? Yeah. If my femur's making, I'm giving you permission to put it back in neutral alignment, because obviously there's structures and vessels and all of that stuff that are going to be, they're not meant to do that. You could lose the limb if you don't straighten it out. Every single person that I've attended to with a broken neck told me they had a broken neck. They come to me like this with their guarding, and they're like, I don't move me, I'm pretty sure my neck is broken. Don't think that, you know, if somebody's moving their head after a crash that you have to be, you know, a neck Nazi and hold them down and say, don't move your neck. That's not necessarily intuitive. Just keep it neutral, make it make sense. Keep in mind that if somebody does complain of any neck pain, that's a paramount rule to keep them still. That is where you are parked. Unless you or that patient is in immediate danger, that's where you're going to be, and that's where people are going to move that person. You don't want to aggravate any spinal cord injuries. If there is a known neck pain, now a great way to determine whether or not there's a broken neck is to hold the person's head and say, look to the left. Now turn your head to the right. I'm holding his head straight and he's torquing his neck. If he has a broken neck, he's not going to want to do that at all. He's going to say, hell no, I'm not doing that. Broken necks are not silent. If you walk up on somebody and there's like blood or vomitus in the mouth, we need to turn them. Is their life in danger if there's blood or vomitus in the mouth? Yeah. Are we concerned about a broken neck? At that point, no, it's life over limb. So we're going to treat the life, not the potential of a neck injury. Let gravity drain all those things out. Do your best to get it out. And then we're going to move them back and then take the helmet off. Now to move somebody, again, it has more to do with your safety. When you look at their eyes, if they can answer the questions, great. If they can't answer the questions, guess what? You are in charge for that patient's decision. But we ask 4 questions in the field: time, place, person, and purpose, which is, what is your name? Do you know what time of day it is approximately? Do you know where you are? And do you know why a paramedic is talking to you right now? If you can answer those 4 questions, you can now make every medical decision on your behalf as an adult. If you can't, we are going to be making decisions on your behalf.
By taking even a basic course, you can equip yourself to manage a dreadful situation and ensure that not just the victim, but everyone on the scene is safe and can continue to have a good time.
Make sure you like, comment, and share this information with somebody that you think could use it. It's a small but growing adventure motorcycle community with a whole bunch of enthusiastic people out there, and we'd really like you to join us on the trail.
Adventure Gear by Climb, because sometimes you have to learn things the hard way.
Connected.